Welcome back, students. In the previous lecture we have started with the general solution of the transmission line, and we were just going through the general solution. The basic things are clear. What is RLGC, what is series impedance, what is shunt admittance, what is S, and this small section of the transmission line, the T section, which is infinitesimally small, and we can assume the transmission line is cascading or just this series connections of this infinitesimal T section that we have gone through. Now it's a time to just carry forward our discussion. Okay, so the element section is of length ds and carries a current I. So we are talking about this section which is carrying current I, whose length is ds. Now what is the equation? The series line impedance being z ohms per unit length, the series impedance of the element is z ds ohm, that we already written here. The series impedance is z ds ohm. So voltage drop in the length ds is, what will be the voltage drop? Because if this is the current flowing through it and this is impedance according to Ohm's law says to us V is equal to IR. So this E, I will get these equations in terms of E and I. Let's understand this. So DE, differential voltage V, is equal to I, current flowing through it, and R. So this R is impedance. So I Z ds. Why it is represented as D? Because this is a differential voltage drop of the length ds, so it will be I Z ds. So just apply concept here. So this is a D. So if I want to measure the voltage drop across this, it should be Z ds into I. So I into Z ds is equal to D. This is a voltage drop across this section. So if I just remember, according to Ohm's law, I have just came to one particular equation. This is equation number 1. So it is DE is equal to IZ into ds. So DE by ds. So this ds I can take to the denominator. DE by ds equal to IZ. Equation number 1. Let's talk about the next thing. The shunt admittance per unit length of the line is Y mhos per meter. So admittance of the element of a line Y ds mhos. The current Di that flows through the line or form conductor, it can also be represented as, once again, V is equal to V is equal to IR. So if I want to represent, I will just write once again Ohm's law here. V is equal to IR. I will just rub it. V is equal to IR. So I is equal to what? I is equal to V by R. And what is 1 by R? Or I can represent it in terms of admittance. So admittance is nothing but, if I want to represent this, this is impedance. If I want to represent in the admittance, it will become V by R. 1 by R becomes Y. So Vy. Okay. So Di, once again coming back to this particular section, so this Di, so is equal to I is equal to V by R, but 1 by R is nothing but Y ds. So I can represent directly Di as E into Y ds. So what is Y ds? Admittance of this section of length ds. So Di by ds I can represent it as Ey. It's very simple to represent. The similar way we have done it for dE by ds. So this is the equation number 1. dE by ds equal to Iz and di by ds equal to Ey. So differentiating equation number and equation number 1 and 2 with respect to S. If I represent it in, if I just take a derivative of this particular thing with respect to S, I will get d square E by ds square is equal to, Z is a constant entity which is independent of I, Z into di by ds. Okay, so d square E by ds square is equal to Z into di by ds. So and d square I by ds square, if I differentiate it with respect to S, is equal to Y into dE by ds. But we already have the expressions for this di by ds and dE by ds. What is the expression for di by ds? It is Ey. So it will become d square E by ds square equal to Z into Y into E. Since di by ds is represented by Ey, so Z by E, and d square I by ds square is equal to Z by I. So these are equation number 3 and equation number 4. This is just general mathematics we are operating in order to get to the general solution of the transmission line. So these are the differential equations for the transmission line, fundamental to the circuit of the distributed constant. Now what is this? E is equal to E0 e raised to j omega t and I is equal to I0 e raised to j omega t. So these are voltages and current which are time dependent. So that's the thing why we have studied unit number 6 before unit number 5, because once you know the concept of the wave equation, we already know that waves can be represented in terms of this E and I. Also, what this e raised to j omega t represent? It represents e raised to j omega t can be written as cos omega t plus j sin omega t. and this e raised to j omega t, once again cos omega t plus j sin omega t. What I mean to say, these voltages and current are having sinusoidal nature, and they may also shown to be a forms of the wave equation. So wave equation we already studied in unit number 6. Solution of equation number 3 is given by, so if I am talking about this equation number 3, I can take d square e by ds square minus zy into e equal to 0. So this is second order linear differential, homogeneous differential equation, because on the right hand side I am getting 0. If I just find, I can represent d square by ds square by, usually you are representing it in terms of s, or you can represent it in terms of m. So m square minus zy into e, I can represent this d square by ds square, I can represent it by m square. So m square minus zy into e is equal to 0. And if I get this m equal to plus or minus root zy are the roots of this differential equation. So this is our equation number 5. These are just basic mathematical concepts which you have already studied in m1, m2, m3. So you know the basic concepts of the differential equation. So I got two roots for this differential equation, m equal to plus root zy and m equal to minus root zy. You already know capital Z and capital Y here are r plus j omega l and y is equal to g plus j omega c. So this result indicates that there are two solutions, one with a plus sign and other with a minus sign of the radical. So if I represent, it is c1 e raised to minus plus root zy into L, since it is a L length of the transmission line, plus C2 e raised to minus root ZYL, where L is once again a length of the transmission line. So let's solve this expression, and what is the final equation we got? Let's write it. So solution of the differential equations are then given by E is equal to, instead of C1 C2 I am now representing with the A and B. A and B are any primary constants. Okay, so A B, A e raised to plus root ZYS, I can represent it with the plus root ZYS, plus b e raised to minus root zy into s. What is the s? We already talked about. S is the length of the transmission line which we have taken from a receiving end to the point of observation or the point of interest. Similarly, if I apply the same steps for equation number 4 here, so d square by ds square I can represent it with the m square minus zy into I is equal to 0. I will get another two expression the similar way, m equal to plus or minus root zy for second equation also, and if I solve it, so I will get it as I equal to c, that is another constant, c e raised to plus root zys plus d e raised to minus root zy into s. So equation number 6 and equation number 7, where a comma b comma c comma d are any arbitrary constants for integration. So since a distance is measured from the receiving end of the line, it is possible to assign conditions such that, okay, so we already know that s is a distance measured from the receiving end, and if this is a transmission line, if s is a distance, so when s is equal to 0, if I represent at this particular point the length s is equal to 0, if s is equal to 0, that means I am exactly at the receiving end of the transmission line, or I am exactly at the load end of the transmission line. Yes, exactly. So if s is equal to 0, if I put in this expression s is equal to 0, I will get I is equal to IR, since I am at the receiving end or load end, and E is equal to ER since s is equal to 0. This is a simple condition which we are going to put for getting the values of A, B, C, D. So for receiving end, s is equal to 0. If I put s is equal to 0, I need to represent E with the ER and I with the IR. So equation number 6 and 7 now can also be written as, now I am going to represent these equations, that ER equal to A plus e raised to root zy e raised to 0 plus b e raised to minus 0. So it will become A plus b and IR equal to C plus D. Combined I am going to call this as equation number 8. Now once we got this first equation number 8 in terms of ABCD, ER and IR in terms of ABCD, let's do certain other things. So differentiating equation number 6 and 7 we get. So what are our equation number 6 and 7? See, these are equation number 6 and 7. We are differentiating this once again with respect to s. So if I differentiate this with respect to s, it will become d by ds is equal to a e raised to root zys into derivative of e raised to root zys is root zy into root zy. So I will get a root zy e raised to root zys. See, this s is outside this square root, it is not inside this square root. Similarly, b root zy into root zys. So this root zy is up to this only, and this will be the expression we are getting. Why we are getting this minus n? Because of this derivative of e raised to minus root zy into s is equal to e raised to minus root zy into minus root zy. So minus b root zy into e raised to minus root zy of s. Is it okay? So we have got the expression for d by ds. So by equation number 1, what was our equation number 1? Let's go back here and try to understand. Our equation number 1 was d by ds equal to iz, and we have got another expression of d by ds equal to this. So I will represent iz is equal to a in terms of a. So right hand side as it is, just this left hand side for d by ds is now replaced by equation number 1, that is iz. Now can I take this z to the denominator? Yes, I can take. If I take this z to the denominator here, so this is root zy upon z and root zy upon z. Finally what I will get? The expression in terms of I. Okay, expression in terms of I is a root y by z into e raised to root zy into s minus b root y by z e raised to minus root zy into s. So this is our equation number 9. Similar steps we can apply for e, that we will take differentiate equation number 7 with respect to s. So I will get di by ds and I will get in terms of c and d. And finally this is the expression for e we have got. So this is expression number 10 for e, c root z by y into e raised to root zy s minus d root z by y e raised to minus root zy into s. And for I we have got root y by z, a root y by z. These terms will remain same. So now I have got this expression, once again applying the condition for s is equal to 0, e is equal to er, for s is equal to 0, I is equal to ir, and I have got another expressions for equation number 9 and 10. If I put s equal to 0, I need to replace e with er and I with ir. So a root y by z minus b root y by z, c root z by y minus d root z by y. So these are the expression number 11 and 12. So now we are going to play with this equation number 11, 12 and equation number 8. If you just remember, this was our equation number 8. er and ir, a plus b, ir equal to c plus d, and here I have got er and ir in terms of these things. So let's do certain exercise and mathematical operations on this and let's understand. So we'll stop here and we will continue in the next lecture onwards. So till then, thank you very much and happy learning.